yes, but that
Play
wasn't always
games on
very
your
well received.
calculator.
I did also do that, yeah.
I don't know if I did that when I was 8 years old, though.
Well, I don't really know what your the grading system doesn't translate, right? So I assume, as in, like, I don't know what grade corresponds to what age.
Yeah, but you know how old you were when you were 8 years old.
Oh yeah,
right?
well, I didn't do that when I was 8.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
No, I would just play my Game Boy. You know,
but not in class.
Well, no, they wouldn't let me get away with that. I tried a lot though. Wasn't very well received.
Weird.
I know, I'm such a rule breaker.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Rise ban here on the blue side, especially after the first couple, and now Rise is getting more popular, and, well, it's Faker.
Are we banning Nocturne here, or are we banning Xin Zhao? Teams have mostly gone for Nocturne. I think Nocturne, it's harder to play against T1 as a team. Xin Zhao, it's harder to play against Oner, the individual. So we'll see. I feel like either would make sense.
Ban one, pick the other.
Yeah.
You know, give Xinjiao to Peanut. I mean, Trundle's still available, though, so something to think about. It's not like Trundle's a hard counter into either of those.
It's annoying,
obviously,
though,
but
sure.
It is annoying for Xinjiao. There's the Nocturne ban.
So Nocturne ban, first pick Xin. Unless we're really going into some weird counter picks, but I feel like it's one of those champions that just, even if you counter pick, I'm like, the level of playmaking is still there. Maybe T1 decides to ban something when it comes to comfort here. The Yone ban could come through again.
Yeah, Talia, Aurora, also their bans on blue side last game, so they go for the Aurora. And Azir is also available, so they say we're scared of Nocturne, not of Xinjiao, and we don't want to give Faker Azir, but Faker's just been playing a lot of Annie.
I think
situations
it might be
like this.
Annie's in.
Yeah.
Would make sense.
So, just
Strong 2v2 as well.
Just given the strength of this Azir to Zeka and hoping that he can carry.
Talia, also a no-brainer. Talia's in, would make sense. Instead, it's going to be the Talia Trundle.
Blind.
Pretty big Trundle blind hater, but then teams just keep picking stuff that's good or bad into Trundle into it, so we'll see. I do like the Talia Trundle interaction where you can pillar people through the stones. That's cute. Yeah, once upon a time, Zeka on Azir would have made a trust. His recent form hasn't really given us a lot of reason to do so. And then the Senna, it is a hard carry pick. Senna Alistair is crazy strong. I assume they're going to be banning Aphelios at the very least. Because we did see Genji get dismantled playing that.
Yeah. I feel like T1 are smart enough if you pick this early on enough to be like, okay, we got to punish that. Right? Because Senna Alistair is incredibly strong if you just let it do whatever it wants.
So are we picking like Aphelios here, or do we want to go for a top lane pick for Doran that then can't really be counted? You can slam Sion here and not really be punishable.
We didn't see him talking at all, Guma, so...
Oh. Okay.
Sante.
Bit more surprising, I think. I was really expecting the Doran sign, but Doran, again, has been in great form, so any front line will do. And you also know they can't answer with a tank because you have Trundle, so that is just not really going to work out. Galio is also not available. We'll see if they maybe throw like a Camille man just to be sure. That's been one of the things that both T1 of all teams know how good Zeus is at the pick, and that we have seen a lot into the Xante is there is the Jace, and that does come through.
Yeah, definitely a good one up against the player and in the matchup, so not a bad idea. And for the side of HANWHA Life,
we
do
ban
you ban Aphelios?
Like Aphelios Poppy?
Didn't we see a Thresh ban against Keria last time out, and then they got absolutely smushed?
It just feels like there's,
there it is.
There's too many angles, though, right? Like, I think it has to be Aphelios Poppy.
Aphelios Poppy sounds good to me.
But there are more counters to the Senna if you are willing to go that direction. I don't think this is a Ziggs game with the top side that they have. Can't really get away with that when it comes to the damage profile. As there was a Xin Zhao ban here. You can also try to call the bluff and hope they don't pick Poppy on 4 and then pick Poppy yourself for Peanut, which I do actually think is good. Can even play Poppy top into the Cassante. And they are going to agree. Pick the Corki instead. But I feel like if T1 do take the Poppy here, you're just kind of sad. Nico is also open. Keria has prioritized that over. And it will be the Nico to come through here.
Yeah, and I mean, there's only so much that Alistar can do against this champ. You can't really react on time, you know, unless you're actually inhuman or a robot.
Or you know, right?
or you know ahead of time, right? So you need to be ahead, you need to have good vision, but Keria's Nico, just like all of his other champs when he's in form, is really deadly. And I think it's a fantastic pick into what they have. It's going to be good for the lane. Thinking about Aatrox here.
That's a classic. Zeus pick that obviously has a large and complicated history of, got beanbite in 2022, then took it, became, I think, our best, particularly the lethality Aatrox player in 2023.
Oh god, I remember that.
That was not okay.
That champ was so stupid.
It was. It's very silly. Because it did the same healing as normal Aatrox, and he felt as tanky, but he was also lethality.
Yeah.
As that is a peanut classic to come through, and I'm pretty sure he's going to go for a hybrid build. You don't really want to go full tank into the Trundle. And then here, rounded out with Sivir. Not really anything too crazy, but a pick that does make sense. The laning phase, I think, actually quite impressive here for the T1 on bot side. And head home. I think you're selling yourself short out there, Mr. Veld, because you are providing by working.
Yeah, no, but that guy said, he said, I'm not at work, actually, but...
Well, I don't think he was working.
He said to them that he was working.
Oh!
I think. I mean, that seemed to be the... You know...
Well, we're not. I'm also not. You know that. I'm not gonna pretend to know what that guy's up. That's okay. I'm just trying to defend you from your slanderous comment towards yourself.
Just kidding.
Well, I'm not standing for that, Valdez.
Sorry. Right. No self-deprecation here.
Please.
Chronicler would
Only
never.
I can do that. You're not allowed to. Yeah.
This lane, I think, is going to be a little bit of a disaster for Life Esports. We saw game one was very much, it was super even, right? This Delight is going to go in and take a bunch of damage. It was really even up until a point. And T1 did have a little lead. And the tempo vibes, sure, you know, whatever Atlas wants to say, they were in their favor. But then the game kind of ended after one big team fight. But I think this game might look a little bit different.
Because the early laning phase is going to be worse?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
I think there might be a bigger early lead for T1, which might shape this game differently.
The Q! I think he thought that I was going to kill the minions, and it didn't. Keria there turning into a ward so that Delight couldn't headbutt him away.
He's pretty good at this champ. Or, no, just this game, actually. Very nice combo here from Zeus. But Doran is Cassante and does not care.
I think Doran in general hasn't cared, and I think it suited him very well. You know, he's together with T1, just embraced reckless abandon. Might have abandoned a bit too much here. I think if Zeus went for the Q on him, could have actually done a good amount of damage, but not going to be the case. Zeus up a pot. But as mentioned, all that Doran needs to do is not die, and he'll be able to do a great job providing safety later on.
All he has to do is not die, Chronicler.
I don't think he's dead. He has Cookie still.
Yeah.
He's fine.
It's just he's getting a little bit bullied.
Well, he's going to fight back, you know. He's Doran. So could he get solo boloed? Yes. Do I think it'll happen? Probably not.
But Zeus, so far in round 3, 0 solo bolos.
Very true.
To the 6 of Doran. Unless they got some in game 1, which I don't think Doran got. And Zeus, I'm almost 100% sure, as... Looks like no knockback there for Faker. On cooldown still. Or perhaps he used it and then we saw the end of it. And still, just a very good trade for Faker as he's doing well into Zeka. The old counter that we always used to see of Talia into Azir. Not really a hard counter, of course, but still has a very good laning matchup into the pick.
Still very comfortable. At least for Viper, this lane state isn't too bad. It's pushing into him, and he is very healthy, so not going to be too worried. We do see Faker, who want to remind everyone, back in spring, this matchup, we saw it go very differently, right? When we were looking at April, when we were looking at May, early March, Zeka was, I think, very clearly the second best mid laner, but the tables have already turned. I think we've seen it in this series. We've seen it over the course of really starting at road to MSI. A Faker and a T1 that just were able to dispatch so handily of HANWHA Life after that reverse sweep. And but like even in the previous game, we're still not seeing the HANWHA Life that we saw at the beginning of the year, whereas T1, they're only getting better. Yeah. Which we're even getting to the point where I'm seeing a lot of... Faker.
She says, I dare you. I'm just going to throw some rocks on the ground, and Keria's here as well. So.
Yeah, we're seeing especially a lot of new age T1 fits, because obviously we've had years domestically where T1 were both domestic and international titans, but in recent eras, that hasn't been their thing. You know, we're a single game away from making it last year to Worlds. We've seen that even the year before, they weren't necessarily the favorite coming in. And they're really good. Early and so it's scary, Feldes, you know? Well, as soon as you get something, we're afraid of losing it. Yeah, but maybe just enjoy it. They're good.
Maybe they'll just keep it up until Worlds, and it's not too early.
That has happened.
I am worried that it's too early, Chronicler.
Well, yeah. What was the last team? I'm trying to think what the last team was that actually like showcased a crazy level of dominance and won. Like it's probably Dom won in 2020.
That sounds right.
Because I think 2021 EDG was the first seed of the LPL, but it was a lot more up and down when you look at their path there as well.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people were looking at Dom that year.
But Damwon Spring in 2020 was also really rough.
It was not good, yeah.
I think they got like 6th or 5th, maybe 5th.
Wasn't that great? Then that's when, after that, Ghost came in, right? Like towards the end of that, I think.
Yeah.
And then they just rapidly ascended. But that is the last time. Because in 2022, the favorites were what, like, we're probably looking at Genji, T1. Trying to think back with
Keria's baiting this 100%. Like, this combo comes in, and Zeka gets extremely low, and now the Divide is on cooldown. Delight's just in the jungle, flashing away, like, everything's already fallen apart. Like, it's little things, sure, but it just does not look good. HANWHA Life Esports T1 running some of these early trades.
Trying to, and the 2023 was JDG. Were the big favorites, who obviously were dispatched of by this T1, only with Zeus in. And then last year, was it Genji?
Genji again.
Genji and BLG?
Yeah.
Were like the big two front runners.
And then T1 happened.
They did.
Little all out here on a Zeus. We don't have any world ender from Zeus. He's just like, yeah, cool story. Doran.
This is feeling eerily reminiscent of Game 1. So far.
Yeah. You know, a little bit more leads from T1, but not nearly as dominant as I thought it would be.
On his way.
As I say that, though, Delight getting extremely low. One, you will do it! And that is enough. They're still going in. Viper gonna get rooted up by Keria, but the squad is coming over. Peanut is gonna land that kill onto Keria, but look, we can't even get Viper to help. He's too low, and Oner goes in and just chops him in the face. 2 kills for the Trundle already.
Oh, that ultimate from Peanut not hitting the mark. Delight going in too early. And we're 8 minutes in. It's a 1.5k gold lead, Feldes.
What were you just saying, Chronicler? This game is looking a lot like game number 1, huh? Interesting timing.
I've made a lot of statements. I make a lot of statements. Sure. We constantly make them. Okay. And I think the execution is a little better here. They might have been fine. So Delight goes a little bit too far forward to get the stun. And then this ult from Peanut just doesn't hit the mark, right? They are able to dodge it, which means that Peanut has to invest his flash to get the kill, and because he doesn't have flash, gets pillared back, gets subjugated, and just dies. Viper. And because he dies, Viper just gets immediately chomped upon.
I mean, Viper could have left, but he's like, no, I want to help you out, and then he just baits himself. And
Viper is also sitting at like 14 stacks.
Yeah, because he's laning against Sivir Nico with an Alistar. This is how you punish this combo. This is how you take advantage of a combo that's very strong late, and you don't let them get there. And that's something that you mentioned early on, that T1 has been doing so well. in recent times. Is now Oner does not have a splash, and Keria is here, gets 3-man knockup, but Oner, very tanky, is still going to go down. Rest of the team here from T1 looking to follow up. Zeka just a little bit too low.
Good ult.
Comes in onto Guma. It's a very intense fight here, as now we got a bunch of damage coming out from Faker, but Guma's in a rough spot.
Delight!
Engage on a 3 from Delight. Might be enough, and that it will be. Keria still going in for the kill. Misses the Q entirely. And finally, HLE Esports have done something today.
And off the back of the lights, Alistair! We might have a game on our hands after all, Valdez. He's looking. We're not gonna jump the gun, but it's a really nice play onto Oner. They know he doesn't have flash. Look at getting him on top of Viper normally would be a mistake, but they do enough damage. Zeka also survives for quite a long amount of time. And I want you to focus on the light here, because this man doesn't have Alistair ult. Peanut extends the play with his ult. And then here, Zeka gets flashed on by Faker, ends up dying. But they want to keep going. They have to keep going. They see the weakness. And then there is the 3-man knockup as Viper is unchecked in this fight. And that is what we talked about. It's the really entire squadron can keep Viper safe. I do have to say Viper is going for a build that I think will do a lot of damage, which is good. That's nice. You know, he's getting gold and he's turning it into stuff. If you're wondering what we're talking about, we've seen some experimental Senna builds that do not do damage. It's aiming, yeah. It's not good. We do not like it. We don't want to see it again. Viper not falling for the same traps.
Yeah, and he's actually ahead in gold on Guma. Must have gotten some of the shutdown gold from that fight. Actually, maybe not shutdown gold. Oh, he probably got a kill on Trundle at least, so some shutdown gold, but he also just has 3 kills. So, yeah, even though the laning phase was a little bit of a disaster, still
Delight is ult.
Delight looking to get in, and he is just going to flash right at them and really hard force this fight. Doesn't really amount to too much, as now the exhaust comes in. They might be able to kill Oner once again, as the Subjugate, though, is helping out quite a bit. So, HLE trying desperately to get this fight going, and don't really have much to show for it.
Peanut's alone, he doesn't have flash!
Yeah, he might just go down here. Looks like T1 have enough controls. That guy, he wants the angle, but he doesn't have Divide, remember. He used it onto one Trundle. And so that's going to be the end of Trundle, or rather, the end of HLE Esports, as 3 of them are going to go down in the play in what was a very overforced fight by HLE Esports.
Just let him die!
Just
it's
give
fine.
him the Drake, it's fine too.
Just let Peanut die. It's okay. Peanut dying there, it's unfortunate they get Drake. It's okay. You giving over 2 kills for no reason, you can't do that. Viper and Delight did not need to die there. Could have just left. After a ham-fisted engage that T1, I think, responded well to. So, let's go over everything. Giving up the Drake, it sucks, but it's fine. Delight trying to overforce the engager when the rest of his team is not in position.
So forced.
Not great, but understandable given the game status. Oh no.
And now Zeus, who was doing very well for himself in the lane, is just going to go down, as Doran, with the help of Keria, who just seems to be everywhere in both games, is going to get another gank down and another kill here for Doran.
And if he gets the snapback on Keria, if Keria doesn't flash, he gets the snapback, he gets the Sundered Sky auto, especially as Aatrox with ult up. He might actually be able to at least kill Keria, maybe get out, but Keria flashes, so he just dies.
Doran has a bramble.
Yeah, no, the turn on Keria was a good call. He's not killing Doran.
Well, it's funny because like he barely had any items. Like he didn't even have a Sheen, I think, or maybe he did.
No, he didn't.
Yet still they were able to kill the Aatrox through all of that.
So one of the advantages of the fighting is that Viper has kind of caught up with his souls. It's still not great, but it's a little better. Downside is obviously that they are 3k cold behind with an Infernal Soul on the map. And that's not good.
I think you were right in some aspects that this game is looking a bit like Game 1. It's happening a bit sooner, but it's a game-changing soul that T1 are getting all the dragons for, and they have, you know, a lot of tempo. Not even tempo vibes, just like
actual real tempo.
Actual real things. The tempo.
Well, are you slandering Atlas?
Well, nobody can understand what it is, so, you know.
But he gave such a clear lecture on it.
That's true. Yeah, I still don't know. Anyway, they have a ton of tempo, and it's just happening all a little bit earlier. And it does feel like the floodgates were opened after the gigantic win in Game 1.
It also kind of has us question the HANWHA Live decision-making, which was one of the best parts, I think, of this team, and the reason why they were our LCK Cup champion, why they won first then, was because it was really hard to actually take them down. It's something that we now associate with Gen G, right? The kind of ability to always make the right decisions, but like the light going in there for that initial engage, it just feels tilted. Viper trying to save a clearly dead Peanut and just getting ulted by a Nico that he like kind of sees walk at him.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like the HANWHA. And then we also have to be honest, T1 is in crazy form right now, right? We've seen
they are.
In the fact that they were as good as they were at MSI, the fact that they have been able to break the streak of Gen G, and we also know what the peaks of particularly the core of this team are. But even Doran, let's not forget, reigning LCK champion.
That he is. And now we got a little Rift Herald fight. That one's going to go over to Oner. Zeus trying to do something. It's not really amounting to too much. We got rocks on the ground, but also the Nature's Grasp. But they just kind of run away with Sivir because you're just all really fast, so you don't really care. You're much faster. Faker going very deep for this one, but the Nico ult's going to help peel for him at least, but Keria goes down. And yeah, Faker getting a little bit caught. T1 still trying to fight in the 4v5, and they're winning handily as the Sivir and the Trundle are just way too fed at this point.
This game is done. It's just over. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm calling it.
The ref is calling it. It's a mercy rule.
The fact they don't kill Faker there, that's a. I don't know if it's a game backbreaker. That's a mental backbreaker. The fact that Faker, yeah.
What?
It's.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Did he cancel the? I think he canceled a mid blast cone knockback.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Happened.
And, you know, I didn't see it clearly enough, but that does make me happy if that was the case. You know, disengage cone's not really a thing.
They have Doran, right? So Doran doesn't care, and then everyone else stands behind him and with the ult. But it's this re-engage that I think really signals what T1 as a team are. The fact that they try to go for this play, Zeka only gets Keria, Faker is fine. And then, like, Zeus comes in, he was already walking top, because who re-engages there? T1.
Yeah.
T1 re-engages there. Faker doesn't even if Faker dies, this whole play is great. And he doesn't. As Oner. Reminding us that as every now and then we do see, there is a lot of skill expression with Trundle. Very nicely done. And it's a 5.5k gold lead. Okay, at least we can kill Faker, right? This time, guys, one time.
Yeah.
Maybe he has flash.
It's kind of the classic. Oh, no, it's not going to happen. And even the ult is going to be coming into, but guess what? Guma able to block.
They got him!
Faker's still going to go down.
Woo!
And
all right, they
did it.
They lost Soul Point. They're also losing bot side turret.
But they got Faker.
Yeah, they did.
And they flashed and used ults and everything. So, yeah, just a bit desperate, you know.
Well, Faker flashed, so that's, you know, that's something. Oh, they're going to lose an
sure,
as
but,
well.
You know, when you're behind, it's like...
Well, I know, Vel. That's trying to... I don't like being the it's over guy. That's not...
You were the guy, like, literally 3 minutes ago.
Well, I know that. I'm regretting it. I'm trying to backpedal.
You don't like being that guy. You're like, this game is over. I remember. I was there.
Well, I did say that.
Yeah.
And I do think it, but I don't want that to be true.
You know, we all came into this one expecting a banger of a Saturday Showdown and, you know, a 3-gamer that could be crazy. Maybe we'd, like, rival the T1 Gen G Game 3 with, like, the Toby Victor moment.
Nope.
Nope.
It is important to note that I think
sometimes.
if the game continues the way that it has, as I think we were trying to kill Faker again.
Just kill Faker again.
Didn't happen.
Peanut doesn't have ult or flash.
No. Well, hopefully they'll be able to get out. So, with this loss,
okay,
you know, both the Gen G and the T1 series end up being what looks like very deflating 2-0s against HANWHA. Might be time that current form HANWHA, we already kind of suspected it, which is why the predictions were the way they were. But I thought that they would at least be able to put up a fight, even though they didn't against Gen G, you know. That was a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But no, it looks like T1 and GNG might be the only one in that category. HANWHA that used to belong there, I think, is clearly dropping.
Yeah.
With this loss to, you know, we are definitely better than Nongshim and KT.
Are we back to a 2-team region?
We are a 2-team region, yeah. And it's T1 GNG, which does feel thematically very fitting for the LCK.
Also, I don't want the viewers to think we're overreacting to just one series. Like, this has been an ongoing thing since Road Tennis.
Well, we keep assessing, right? We keep looking, and it's just a level of gameplay.
Reassessing, and it just keeps going. Against HLE Life Esports, Zeus nearly dies. And,
Yeah, and again, when it comes to, like, HANWHA Life also just 2-0 Nongshim, they 2-0 KT. They're not near those teams either.
No, they're in a tier of their own, unfortunately. But yeah, solid third place after this, I would say.
Very clear, still. But very clear both in a positive and a negative sense, right? They're not close to KT Nongshim, but with these double 2-0s in the span of only a week and a half, I think that's where we're at right now. Fortunately, as the team on the opposing side can tell them, form is not stationary, and it can move, and it can pivot. But
form
right now,
temporary, class is permanent.
Yup.
Everybody's heard it, and yeah, we're just hoping HLE Life Esports get back on the horse at some point. As T1 have here in a big way, going for the Otacon.
Not the Dura horse, though. That was terrifying.
That was actually nightmare fuel.
It's my favorite thumbnail ever.
It's so good. Yeah. Okay, Delight's going to get in. He has Flash.
Yes,
and he has Smite, which is what I meant to say. And that is going to be the Smite going the way. And there we go. Keria going to force some flashes. Big engage once again. Nice defensive from the side of Zeka. This is pretty gigantic. Zeus on the flank here. And they are going to do a bunch of damage. The Otacon still does go the way of T1, though. And now they're just reassessing if they want to go back in after already kind of losing the fight. It was, I mean, a trade of support, so relatively close. So T1 sticking around, still have the big gold lead, and now the Otacon.
I love the timing from T1 there, because if Peanut has his ult and they go for that play, I think they might actually get wiped. Because Zeus will actually be able to get a reset, get the movement speed boost. Instead, Peanut's ult is not yet up. So their main tool outside of Delight to ensure that everyone's locked in place isn't available. Imagine this whole sequence with Peanut throwing an ultimate here, right? As the TP from the Aatrox comes in. Delight, nice attempt, doesn't quite find it. I think Keria going a little bit too deep. The disengage comes through from Zeka. And then right here again, look at the timing on that ultimate. Could have caught those free in the choke point with the health bars the way they were. I think it would have been an easy setup as...
No disengage cone this time. He does taxi over to the Krugs.
That's cute.
Which is skill expression, which I do enjoy.
They have to fight for their game in 20 seconds, Valdez.
Yeah, they do.
They have pretty severe item disadvantages.
At least he got a back in. I mean, it just still doesn't feel good to back at all, but...
Actually, you know what? Looking at the spikes, it's not that horrible. It's not good, but it's mostly 2 items against 2 items.
We have double anti-healing from T1 as well. I mean, Bramble Vest and full Morellonomicon from the side of Fakers. Zeus and Viper going to be doing a lot less healing.
Look at the wall from Faker here. I think he's trying to split it up. There we go.
Yeah, Zeus seeing it the whole way. It's a bit early, but I don't know if he's gonna... It's just gonna come down to a flip, actually. Peanut gets in and he does steal it away. So that's one thing for the side of HANWHA Life. Locket's gonna keep Delight alive, and now we got a big one on the side of Zeka. Immediately just dies, though. And the damage, the wallets, they're just too gigantic for T1. We got a TP coming in here as well. This is looking like Doran goes straight into the team. He doesn't care at all. Finally goes down, but it's going to be a trade for Viper, and they'll take that any day of the week, I would say. Guma already up to 6+ kills, and T1 now just running them down.
Oh, Doran happily giving his life.
Baker, you just had to do it to him, didn't you? Meanwhile,
Kuma's like, I can get him. No, Kuma, don't do it. Did have flash, but I realized you shouldn't have gone for that.
Soul?
They did stop Soul. They did stop the game from actually ending, as it is at first a bit of a fragment and engage, but they do get a good amount of damage down on Doran, and then Zeus looks like he's stuck in the pit, but Zeka identifies a great window, nullifying the Keria ult. It just doesn't matter, because Faker is full health throughout all of this.
Yeah. He also dies immediately.
Yes, that did also happen. And then Doran TPing because why not, you know? Ends up getting him, like, actually does end up getting him 2 kills. Also, it's Doran. I feel like he's probably the one going like, guys, I got him. I'm Cassante.
I'm going in. I have 100 health.
I don't care. If I die, it's worth. And it was worth.
Yeah. Regardless of if they got the kills or not, in Doran's minds. But yeah, they did get the kills. Blue buff taken here by the side of T1. Chronicler's already put in his POM vote just now. And the wall's coming down. A little bit of a broken up engage here from both sides. You can see that HANWHA can't really engage on that ult. It's just kind of for peel. So.
Okay, so the gold lead has somewhat stabilized. Say that HANWHA somehow get another dragon. We are eventually going to reach a point where the game's playable for them again. Now, T1's going to start Baron literally on spawn.
T1 Baron.
T1 Baron. They're looking for the fight, right? So you can see Keria and Doran both off, trying to create some chaos.
2 Talias in here. The engage from the side of Keria, gonna catch 3, and the disengage does come out from Zeka. Meanwhile, the flank from Delight is pretty good, and now you've got the damage from Viper over the top. They're actually doing it, Chronicler. HANWHA Esports chasing him down. The damage from the Talia and the Sivir not quite good enough. They got him! Zeka and Viper and Zeus remain.
As oh, cameraman, no! You didn't have to do him like that! The back-to-back elation into depression. As Keria, I think, getting a little bit too hyphy there. He, yes, gets on top of the backline, but there's no immediate follow-up, and it kind of baits the rest of his team in a bad position. Guma goes forward.
They're all standing on soldiers and Aatrox.
Yep, and the moment Aatrox gets a kill, with 9 HP, Zeus watches his whole team fall. And we have a game. It's back. It's not over.
We resurrected
I was
the game.
wrong.
We resurrected it. You're so good at cursing. It's crazy. I can't even believe it.
Okay, but it did already pack battle. And as we were getting into that, I was talking about how eventually the game will be playable. I just didn't expect it to be right there. I'm just saying.
That is true. No, that was, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. There's always angles. I just thought HANWHA Live thus far wasn't playing well enough for the angles, but guess what? I was wrong. And I'm happy, because maybe it gets us to 3. Now, we don't know that. You know, there's still a lot of factors working in favor of T1. They have Soulpoint, they have Otacon. But the gold should be mostly equalized, as is Rebel Baron power play for HANWHA is going to come through. Viper is approaching that 100 Soulpoint, currently sitting on 80. He will be an issue.
Yeah, definitely will. And just trying to siege here with their Baron and their Senna for the range. So I'm going to pick that one up nicely, but you can see that Faker also not even really able to step up here.
That RFC is done. This is not a good time as...
Zeus, bunch of damage.
Spooky. We'll be able to get healed up, and they do have mid-prio, so in theory, T1 should be able to get towards the soul here.
I mean, they're showing a lot of presence in mid, and they're not allowing this mid-tier 1 to go down, which is extremely important for contesting the objective.
I do feel like someone on HANWHA Live could have gone top, but they don't have TPs. So they actually can't afford to get max value out of this Baron buff.
Yeah.
Because you know T1 will start a fight as soon as someone shows in top wave. Does make this a very awkward situation, because T1 can't. They have double TP available. Could even send someone top. Looks like instead, Viper, oh, that was a bouncing blade he did not want to take.
Yeah. Well, at least they have healing for days, but it's still not going to feel very good. The amount of zone control they have with the Azir is quite nice. That wall doesn't do anything.
But T1 can get this up, right? So I think they were trying to look, maybe someone is off position. Not going to be the case. And the soul denied yet another dragon.
I'm so happy we resurrected this game. It's back from the dead. It was over. We tried our best too. We're like, it's, you know, it's 2-0. We were hoping for a good series. All
we're
of
already
stuff.
being like, you know, if they get 2-0'd here, HANWHA might be in a...
We're talking about tier lists. We're like, all right, well, now they're here.
And now if you're a HANWHA, then you're like, oh, these dumb casters.
Yeah.
They had no idea.
Well, now we got Faker TPing into
I know about that one.
this. He's got a lot of health.
They double TP.
Yeah.
That's actually a really big investment, especially considering the play doesn't work out. They do not allow them to go for a dive there, but that might be an angle for HANWHA Life to actually start applying some pressure to these side lanes.
Yeah, this game is now once again in a tense spot. It's kind of like the opposite of game 1. You know, it was very, very tense for a while, and then it was over. And this one, it was like it was over for a while, and now it's really tense.
I like it.
Yeah.
So I assume Death Dance is going to come through for Zeus soon. We have Peanut with Blood Letters, which is going to make Zeka even more of a demon.
He's gone just like full AP. Now he's finally building some tank.
Yeah, you're still somewhat beefy, and this is one of the few occasions where like you're actually playing to Trundle. Building pure tank stats is just bait, right? It just isn't going to really serve you well. I kind of would have loved if he had just gone the full support build after this route and just go like Knight's Vow, Redemption, McHale's. But looks like we're just going to go towards probably a Renwins. Just normal tank stuff as there it is, the 100 point about to be hit here for Viper.
Yeah, and I mean, T1 have this comp that has, you know, a Sivir.
Little zoom.
Yeah, it's got some scaling in that facet, and Skooma is incredibly fed.
Oh, T1 still.
But like, their engage is also just Nico against Asena, who is a fountain laser from miles away.
I think their engage in normal cases is fine. The problem is they get severely outraged. Like the scaling on T1 is actually really good. Like Cassante is a menace. We have Talia, we have Sivir, right? Like I think these champions kind of, you know what they do. They are really good in late game scenarios. Skooma also finishes his 4th item. But that doesn't really matter when you are facing down a Maokai that you can't engage on, an Alistar you can't engage on, and an Azir that now will have a Senna at 100 souls, plus the Azir, plus the poke from the Maokai. Like, you're actually just gonna slowly get whittled down, and it reminds me of Peanut's Maokai, which is not something we have really prioritized recently. But let's not forget the streak this man had. That was for a reason, with many games looking early, like this one.
Yeah, he's really good at just turning it around, and I think the entire team does very good at turning around team fights. You know, if you go all in, you know, even the Aatrox too is just very good at like picking up the scraps after a failed engage and then really turning the fight on its head. So every piece of this comp is heading in the same direction for HANWHA Life Esports. We do have over 100 stacks now for Viper. We're hiding on Bush.
Well, tense moment there.
Yeah, the wall comes down. It's going to knock Doran into the team as Zonya's here for Zeka. Not 100% sure.
I think they were expecting an engage there. That's so much blown by HANWHA.
They're just pressing random buttons. I don't know, man. Like, this is...
Well, it's 2 for 2. So Peanut and Viper ult, and then Guma and Faker ult. Now, obviously, Guma ult, not the biggest. For T1, I think you're really just looking at Keria's ult, what he can do with that. Zeus, red buff is not worth it.
Well, he says it might be worth it. He takes a bunch of damage.
Although I know, I'm no 2-time world champion.
He's a 2-time world champion. He must be right 100% of the time.
Yeah, that's the Barrel's law.
Exactly.
As we do have, as you would expect, it's spawned.
Yeah, I mean,
so we're starting it up.
They have the super fed Sivir, and they have vision control, so T1 will start the Baron. That's just the way it goes. No wall here for Faker, and the poke is insane, as we expected. They're going to pull in the Alistar, though. He gets incredibly low, but it will survive. And, yeah, Faker's still not here. Redemption does come down, going to heal them up quite a bit. And the AD carries. Really, the focus is on them to carry these late-game fights. You can see the damage numbers heavily in their favor at the moment. And
here the biggest difference is, again, it's the range for Viper, but it's also the peel that's there. The peel on HANWHA is crazy. They can enable Viper to carry these fights. At T1, I think they're feeling the pressure, right? They know that they're in a position where if they just take the 5v5, they're probably just going to get poked down slowly. So they try and throw HANWHA Life off.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to root a Cassante. In comes Faker now, looking for it. Zeka gonna dash over some rocks. Faker nearly dies on the hunt. comes through, but now everybody's rooted down. Doran might just die, and down he goes. HANWHA Esports are doing it. Delight's gonna get low. So will Zeus, though.
And we hadn't really seen them ever since Busan, but it looks like HANWHA Life not letting T1 get away with it again. We are continuing this tense situation, this standoff around Nash. Side lanes aren't real in this game, by the way. They're not a thing.
Faker wants to make it a little bit real, although maybe he's just TPing another fight.
No, that's so he can get to the fight.
Well, he's got to be careful. There's a whole team right in front of him.
Oh, look at the... That's one Oner from Viper!
Yeah.
I think maybe like a W from Zeus, but mostly just Viper approaching 120 on the souls, i.e. done.
Doran down for 8 seconds, no TP. HLE start this, but they're going to give away Infernal Soul, and they're getting poked down a little bit. Redemption's certainly going to help here.
Oh, I don't know about that. Giving up the soul, that's big.
Just giving up a soul, just giving away Infernal Soul. And they're even delayed on the Baron here, but it's at least going to be the Baron for the side of HANWHA Esports. They need to get value out of this Baron.
I'm never a fan of this trade. At no point.
There aren't like very specific times where it's okay. This is not one of them.
I don't think it is. I'm kind of wondering. I want to see the setup as we get out of this. Look at that. You see the autos from Viper. Literally, like I think he three taps Faker. As you highlight Zeka as well. Zeus has gotten to the point where, especially with Death Dance, you can see this Aatrox actually focus him down as a mistake. You just don't have the time before you get shredded. Infernal Soul, though, absolutely ludicrously strong. This is one of the scenarios where, like, on Doran and Oner, it doesn't feel quite as potent, as for the first time we have a little dip of blue there. But HANWHA Life do have a really large amount of pressure for now. Zeka will have his TP up very soon. I think they need to park him in the side lane, and it might come down to an Elder flip, Valdez.
Yep.
Whoo, boy!
That's Legend Group, baby. Wait.
Wait.
doesn't quite work. Keria just scouting. Just saying hello.
So, if you're HANWHA, I think you're trying to look to end the game on this push. If you can, somehow get that done. We see Viper QSS at the ready as well. Look at the heals. Look at the range.
Yeah. Faker trying to join now, was in the upside. Kuma nearly dies. Just trying to clear the wave. He's not able to. And again, if they can end it on this Baron, they've got a minute 20. They're going to look for the inhibitor at the very least. Faker looking for the wall angle. There he goes. Takes a ton of damage just for existing.
Zeus found a little corner.
Yeah, he's totally fine. And yeah, that's one soldier hit and maybe an auto from Viper. And Guma's down to half up.
He's just, he can just order the turrets. He has the range.
Yep,
with RFC. There's nothing they can do. Can't believe Zeus put himself in the corner. It's crazy.
Oh, the engage, they're looking for it. They're not going to get Viper, though. And the Zonius comes down. The root is on to Zeka, but the follow-up is not there. Zeka, what was that? He goes back in. Just dies for nothing. Not like this. And now T1 on the chase here. They want as much as they possibly can get. They're going to get Peanut
the TP!
And the TP! They want to get even more.
How
much more can they get, though? Viper not able to back! And that is going to be 4 kills! And T1 will look to end this game.
No, not like this! Not like this!
Oh, don't show me that replay.
No,
don't show me that replay.
No, HANWHA! Zeka, why? Oh, yeah, you have to. Try and pull the wave. That's the wave they're playing of.
It's a nice try. I think he's late.
They know.
Yeah.
They're not going to let him get to it.
He got the range minions.
The cannon is still there. Zeus just has to try and base.
Yeah, they can tank.
10 seconds on Zeka. They might be able to salvage this somehow.
I don't think so. They can just tank.
But don't forget, they don't have to wait. Yeah, no.
No, they
oh
have.
My God.
They have the minions. They have the tanking. Zeus comes back. Okay, here's Zeka. Wait.
Can they clear the wave?
Wait for it. Keria just gonna get the knockup. Just hit the Nexus, they say. They hit the Nexus.
Oh my God!
They're not hitting the Nexus. Doran getting in there and they hit it. They finally do it. T1 just making it interesting. And HLE, they